Hello and welcome to AOR Season 16 PC Assist League 1, and Round 1 takes us to Australia. So yeah, once again back in AOR on a new game this time, F1 2018, and back in the Red Bull. So yeah, I really wanted to get into Assist League 2 again this season, because of course I haven't actually been able to put too much time into this game. I don't really like this game as much as some of the older games, and hence haven't really practiced this as much as I probably have the other games, and also of course I've just been busy in general. So I really wanted to be in this League 2 so I could be fighting at the front again like I was in Season 14, but alas, even with a bit of sandbagging, I'm still find myself in Assist League 1. But yeah, I mean, we probably will be trading towards the back, but I'll just give it my all, and I mean, I'll probably suffer towards the end of the season, because I mean, these guys are probably able to put in much more time than I can, but yeah, it's just about having fun really in league racing. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, here we are now. There's a 17-man lobby for the first race of the season, which is actually quite unusual, because normally you have a full house and it sort of dwindles down from here. But of course, if you have 17 already, then maybe you might have even less in the coming races. But you can see I've actually had quite a good lap so far. In practice, my best lap was a 1:21.5 in time trial, and we're actually going to do a 1:21.5 as well. So yeah, that was good enough for P12 in the end. Just outside the top 10. I actually was on a lap which was slightly faster, but I couldn't really pull it together. But yeah, P12 was really good starting position, because I can start on the super softs, and of course super soft to soft is the way to go this season. Of course in 2017 you could really abuse the soft tyres, but of course they don't last forever in this game, so it will be super softs onto soft, and as you can see, that is clearly the fastest strategy over the two-stop. And yeah, I can tell you as well, ultra soft to soft is not a preferred strategy, especially when you're starting on the ultra soft. So I'm basically in the second best position on the grid, in my opinion. Of course, P11 is always the best place to be, but for me, I'm nowhere near the top 5 pace. So getting P11, P12 is going to be crucial for me every week if I want to have a good race. But here we are now, P12 on the grid, 5 red lights, and away we go. Yes, we managed to qualify a few people, which is normally quite rare, but they're immediately going to get us off the line. I haven't been able to master starts at all, and traction I've really struggled with this season. But into turn 1, we're going to brake really early, and we're sort of pinched on the inside. We're going to let everyone round our outside. Just don't want to get caught up in the mess. And there's already some people off. There's another one off. Reborn Destroyer. We get 3 positions back immediately. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, the good thing about being uncompetitive in the league is that I can really sandbag the start and just keep out of trouble. Of course, in AOR Season 14, I was starting in the mid-pack, and as I was a front runner, I felt obliged to sort of go for moves really early on, as there's another person off. That's PR Release, who's already out of the race, and we got our old friend from Season 15, Horvey, in front of us. Actually, we managed to get past him in the end. As we head on to lap 2, we're in 13th place, but all our work is going to be undone as we go off into the grass. We're going to have to give 2 positions back to make sure we don't take them out. One of our teammate who's actually was involved in a lap 1 incident, so yeah, that was a shame, but he's already flying through the field again, as that's actually AOR JCP in the pits. So yeah, it's been quite a chaotic start, not the worst. As you can see, Horvey's actually spun, and there's somebody else who spun as well, so Koyuti as well, so that's 2 free positions for me. And yeah, of course, that left to right is absolutely horrible in this game. Traction isn't good to begin with, but just around those 2 corners is really hard on the traction. So you can see there's a virtual safety car. That's another thing in AOR. The safety car has come back for the first time since Season 13. Of course, I haven't got the fondest memories of that VSC and safety car from that game. I actually got disqualified once because I tried to get the AI to drive under it, but just, well, it's a VSC instead of a safety car. But some people still tried to take the opportunity to pit, but I think it was slightly too early, to be honest. They're going to have to commit to a 2-stop, which, and considering they only probably saved 5 seconds at the end of the VSC, I don't think it's really worth it. As you come around again, you can see there's more people into the pits. All the ultra-stop runners now pitting really early, of course. The ultra-stop's not lasting a lot, and most of them are going to go onto the softs, but they're going to have to make those softs last an awful long way. As you can see, that's Darkside, who actually started near the front, who's off as well out of the race. So we're already out down to 13 runners, but you can see I just couldn't nail the entry of that corner. I mean, that's the thing about the pad. You just, once you turn into a corner, you committed. So yeah, again, just not able to sort of get out of that, and as a result, getting a penalty. As you can see, there's a few people going to pick on the pits exit. Schraub's actually going to get Edge, and that's about all for the lead. Edge was in the lead, but Schraub has done a really big undercut. Of course, he used the VSC to his advantage, but we're just going to let Edge keep ahead of us. There's no point trying to make a move on him. We're not racing him at the end of the day, and of course, we raced him, and he was really clean with us last season, so I may as well just let him be, because I'm not in his race. And you can see as well, we're not in Gimp's race as well, so we're just going to let him pass. So that's what I've really done with the front runners. I think the people up ahead are a bit more reluctant to let them pass, but I'm not in their race. I've raced most of these guys, some of these guys near the front last season, so and I got wrecked by them then as well. But so yeah, you can see Gimp's actually been tangled with Reborn Destroyer, so Ken Worthington actually. So yeah, that's unfortunate between those two, and we're going to get both positions, so I'm not really moaning. But Gimp was near the front, so that's, I mean, I bet he's not going to be happy about that, considering yeah, I think Ken Worthington did actually cause the crash. So you can see as well, Wolves Hammer is off, and we actually tried to get around us outside, but we sort of go onto the grass a bit, trying to be almost too cautious. I mean, that's something which I don't really like about these games. I feel like I have to give people almost too much room, and I'm almost forcing myself off the track to give people room, compared to the other games like F1 2014, where you could race side by side without fearing taking people out. But you can see the Rogue Samurai into the pits. I don't know what's happened there, but he must have had his pit limiter on or something. But we're just going to use that opportunity to drive straight past him. So that was really odd spot. I mean, I've overtaken somebody into the pits before last season, but I never thought I'd have to overtake literally a car who's going at 30 miles per hour into the pits. But I think he might just have pit release or something, or pit assist on. So over that, we just really turned on his pit limiter early, which is quite odd to say the least. But you can see Reborn Destroyer is actually going to join just behind us. So we're sort of in a battle amongst the Mercedes and Williams at the moment. And yeah, just trying to get really the best result I can. But Reborn Destroyer is actually pretty fast. And although we're actually on the fresher tyres, as soon as you're within the DRS, it doesn't really matter, because you can latch on with the ARS this season. I mean, it's so powerful. It's almost like as bad as the Slipstream in 2016. So you can tell I'm not a massive fan of this game. I mean, the pad's even worse in my opinion than last season. Plus, yeah, the game is just in general just really doesn't favour traction. And yeah, I mean, I haven't put in the time to really learn the traction as a result, and really struggled. But you can see Reborn Destroyer going defensive. Of course, we got the pace over him on the fresher tyres, but he actually tried to go for a cutback, and that's another warning. So that's our second penalty of the race. And yeah, that's another thing. I mean, I always I'm quite happy when I get about 6 to 9 seconds of penalties per race, because of course it's quite hard to really turn in on the pad. But I mean, I've got a friend now who uses a wheel, and he's probably similar skill level to me, yet he makes nowhere near the amount of corner cuts. And it's just, I think the wheel, you can be so much more precise. So but you can see Reborn Destroyer has actually cocked up that corner, and he's, I think, the 4th or 5th person to full foul. You can see actually there's Gimp right behind us again, who's almost on a recovering drive after getting taken out. And yeah, he's going to come out just ahead of us, and just behind AOR JCP, who's come out of the pits. So yeah, I'll sort of let them two battle. I mean, yeah, they're on much fresher tyres, and they're much faster, so there's not much hope really. And right now P9, but we're going to be relinquished into P8 as Saddam Hussein pits. And yeah, sort of alright. I mean, I got 10th last time around here, so if I could get a P8, P9, that would be great. But you can see that's a 3rd penalty, and as I was saying, I mean, normally I take 3 penalties, because I find it hard to keep up the curves. But yeah, wheel runners are just so much more consistent on hitting the corners, because of course you have that scope on the wheel, which you can't on the pad, because you have to go full lock or no lock at all. As you can see, we let Saddam Hussein pass because of course he's on fresher tyres. There's no point battling him. But again, like, that's another thing. I mean, the tyre wear's worse, turning's worse. I mean, especially on tracks. I mean, it's always been like that. Like the first sector of Suzuka, but I just think it's worse this season, and I see why everyone's moving over to the control to the wheel, and I'm almost considering it myself. But I mean, I've been on the controller for so long now, ever since 2014, so I probably will stick on it for now. But you can see, yeah, I mean, Gimp has actually been falling back a long way, so we're actually coming under a bit of pressure from Rogue Samurai, but we've been able to keep him at arm's length. Meanwhile, Gimp has been really struggling on his super softs. Of course, he pit really early, I think on lap 10 or something, onto them, so they must be really dying right now. Of course, he must be on the wheel, otherwise he probably would have burst by now. But again, he's really struggling, and as a result, he was about 20 seconds ahead, 15 seconds ahead, but he's been really falling past, he's been really falling behind rapidly, and as a result, we're nearly actually going to get him, but unfortunately, he's going to be just about ahead of us. And us, Gimp and Rogue Samurai, are going to finish really close to each other. And Saddam Hussein as well is not actually far off the road. So once again, not too far off the top 5, a bit like last season, but this time it will be P8 instead of P10. And that's because Gimp actually had more penalties than me. Actually, I think he had 13 seconds of penalties. And yeah, the guy behind me, Rogue Samurai, didn't actually have any penalties, so that's good for him. And as a result, he's going to leapfrog both of us. But you can see Edge wins in the end over Schwalb. Of course, those two were sort of top of the midfield, if not front runners last season. And yeah, I think it's a bit easier this league in general than last season. So they've driven straight to the front. Karnak, my teammate, recovers to P3, which is brilliant considering the shape of things. And in the constructors, you can see Ferrari, Renault, and Red Bull all doing quite well. I'm sort of getting carried by my teammate again, but I'm sort of getting used to that now. As we head on to the results again, just a confirmation. Of course, the Drivers' Championships are the same as the results, but you can see Edge ahead of Schwalb. My teammate recovering brilliantly to third, a bit like last season with Kurecki, recovering to fourth after being taken out on lap 1. Kureka in fourth, JCP in fifth, Saddam Hussein sixth, and Rogue Samurai, of course, jumping both of us in seventh. But of course, if I keep practicing, I should be able to get towards the top 5, because yeah, I mean, I'm not too far off it, so it's not as dire as last season, but I'm still well off the pace. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.